All right, the next thing I'm going to teach you is how to tie the Swiss seat. The Swiss seat is the seat that you're going to use to get onto the rope bridge and pull yourself across the bridge. For the Swiss seat, you have your sling, you have your two working ends. Go ahead and marry up those two working ends. Work your way down the rope to find the center bite. Take the center bite in your left hand, place it above on your left hip, above the bone. So belly button's about right here. Really going to place it above the belly button. You want to keep the center bite, the center piece of the rope, in that portion, in that same location on your left hip the entire time. Going to reach around back, grab the rope, keeping the rope nice and tight around my waist. And then I'm going to move my hand along the rope to where everything's nice and tight. The center of the rope is still here. I didn't allow the rope to rotate or move when I brought everything to the front. At this point, the rope on your right side should be shorter than the rope on your left side because the center of the rope is here, not on the back, which causes there to be a difference. That's a good thing. At this point, I'm going to take the rope in my left hand, place it over the rope in my right hand, over it. I'm going to reach through this hole that I've created here. I'm going to grab the rope on top, pull it through to the right once, reach under again, pull it through a second time. And then trying to keep the center part still on my hip, tighten everything up, nice and tight. You're going to want to get this tight now so that it doesn't get tight later when you're on the bridge itself. From there, keeping the right on the right side and the left on the left side, I'm going to reach under, grab each rope, placing them on the outside of my hips, creating a seat with these ropes. From here, I do what I call the Dumbo ears. I take my thumbs, place them on this rope going around my waist, holding this rope nice and tight. The goal is to take this rope over and then under the rope that you have going around your waist. The reason I have my thumbs here is to ensure that I place it over and I push the rope the direct way. I want the ropes to go back towards my backside when I tuck them over. Watch. So I tuck it over and back towards my backside. Here, I turn, tuck it over, and back towards my backside. Now you can do both of those at the same time, but I slowed down to show you. From here, you grab the ropes nice and high next to the rope that's going around your waist, squat down and pull, which is going to tighten everything up. You can do that a couple times to make it really tight. At this point, it's going to be very tight, probably a little uncomfortable. I'm going to take those ropes, bring everything back to my left side where I started. Once again, keeping everything nice and tight. Now I'm going to tie a box knot. I taught you how to do that earlier. You're going to take the rope in the left hand, place it over the rope in the right hand. Pull it over, tie it nice and tight. Take the rope in the right hand, place it back over the one in the left hand, roll it back through. If you've done it properly, you're going to have those two interlocking bites. If not, you might have a granny knot. It looks similar, but it's not the same. For this last part, we need to lock this box knot in place. You need to pay attention to these bites. This bite is on top. This other bite is on the bottom. That's important. For this rope here, in order to secure this in place, since this bite's on top, I'm going to go over the top of the rope, pulling back towards the body, kind of marrying this bite up with this bite now. And then since I went over, I'm going to go back over the rope where that hole of that bite's created, and then back towards the front of my body. Since this bite's on the bottom, I'm going to go under the rope this time, pulling towards my front to marry up those bites. And since I went under the rope, I'm also going to go back under through the hole and back towards my backside this time. If you've done it properly, you're going to have a nice, pretty braid. So the important thing is, remember, where are those bites? Because they can change places sometimes. This one could have been on the bottom and the other one could have been on top. So you must pay attention to that. Since this was on top, over, over. Since this was on the bottom, under, under. At this point, I could hook a D-ring right here between these two ropes, and I could hook myself onto the bridge. Once again, this is the Swiss seat.